Actually, I'm currently on my way to have a look at a KTM Superduke, which is a used bike, but not very old or not very lots of mileage. I'm not actually sure how old, I think a year or something. Quite a sad story, like the owner recently died, and he had like 2 bikes, and his wife now wants to sell them. They say mint condition, not sure, I want to have a look myself, and I think a Superduke is a comparable bike to my Diavel, maybe even better, maybe a little different. So what I think is really interesting on this bike, particularly the Superduke R 1290R, is that this is a little bit more hyper motard style. The Mini Diavel is like a weird mix of sporty cruiser, but it's a weird, I mean, I love it. I love the way it appealed totally to me. I drove it, I had a test ride on this bike, and I was totally sold. I came back with like glowing eyes and said, okay, I take it. And I mean, that says everything. So this weird mix worked for me pretty well. But it is a weird mix, which I appreciate a lot. But actually, I'm already here, the 9 center, and this is scary. So there must be another entrance over there. Okay, let me see if I can find my way and still talk about the Superduke. So, Superduke. I mean, one thing is you have quite a few YouTubers now who drive a Superduke bike parking. Actually, I need to meet someone. So yeah, Superduke. I had a few things pointing me to that bike. I'm not the biggest fan of KTM's, simply for the optics. I don't like orange. I don't know, the red of the Ducatis is much more appealing to me. But this is childish, right? To talk about the color. I'm not a woman in the end. Okay. I like these hyper motard style of the bike. Or motard style, sorry, hyper motard is brand name of Ducati. Actually, I wanted to buy a hyper motard, and when they could not deliver and get me one, I made this test ride for the Diavel, which then made me a Diavel driver. I mean, which is a little bit hilarious, but because Diavel is like double the price. Nonetheless, I still like this hyper motard riding position style, whatever, right? Okay, let's continue this. So now I met with a French guy. You can see him. I'm following right now on this CB500F. So we're driving now to the place where the KTM Superduke is located, and he's helping the woman sell the bike. So let me go back to the point why I'm interested in the Superduke in the first place. That is the engine, I would say. Engine. Maybe the suspension and the whole geometry of the bike. As mentioned before, I do love these motard style bikes, like upright seating position, but you can work with a bar. I personally prefer a little bit more upright and naked. I think that's what you can say, naked. The way I like my girls. bad jokes in a day. Anyway, and I think the Superduke is a very interesting bike in terms of the engine. I mean, it's maybe the only engine I ever heard of that has more power and has particularly more torque than the Testa Stretta from Diavel, second generation. So my bike has on paper 162 with the racing exhaust, and on a dyno my bike came to 178 horsepower. And that is quite impressive for me already. But the KTM has by nature I think 170, and with the racing exhaust that can actually be significantly more. I don't know, but I don't use that much power anyway. But I would care for the torque figures. And this is where the KTM, everybody drools about how much torque it has, and because of the more motard style of the bike, it has it's quite a wheelie monster, and actually very appealing in my opinion. So what's the downsides? Downsides, okay, it's a KTM. For other people that might be a good part. For me, yeah. But on the other hand, I didn't like Ducatis before as well. Maybe I'm just stupid in my mind or my regards. But then KTM for me is always like Paris-Dakar. It's more like, yeah, the motocross stuff, the off-road stuff. I wanted to say that is, for me, KTM was always more about off-road, desert, maybe good handling, but not so much in the twisties or like the bike I'm looking for. But then this Superduke, it appeals to me, it speaks to me a lot. I mean, I like this style of the bike, like brutally powerful, brutally honest. Yeah, but there are a few downsides. So it's okay, it's the brand, but as I tried to explain, the brand alone should not scare me, even though maybe it's not my taste. The orange frame, oh my god, I have a huge issue with that. But maybe it's not so bad, I don't know. Wow, let's look scary here. Okay, where do we go? Yo, that's the adventure you have in Thailand, or Bangkok. You go somewhere interesting. Please don't kill me. Okay, back to that. So I do not like particularly this odometer. No, it's not odometer, it's like the RPM gauge. No idea how that's called in English. And I'm not a huge fan of the orange lighting of that as well, but yeah, what can you do? That's the way it is. Other things, I think the seating position is great. The seat makes a good impression. Brakes, Brembo brakes, suspension, I don't know what it is, but it sounds really good. Yeah, altogether sounds like a great mix of parts. But then comes another thing. Here in Thailand you pay 1.4 million baht for a new one, which is roughly, yeah, by now it is over 30,000 euros I think, and this is crazy. I mean, the bike I think cost like 70,000 US dollars, which would be 16 or at other times even 15,000 euros. So it is double the price here than in the US, or I mean in Europe I think it's also 17,999, and that is crazy in my opinion. So another reason why I'm going to look at this bike now is that it is not new, it's used, so it is cheaper. If that's significant, I hardly can say. We will see when we talk about money and the price. I think they still want quite significant amount of money for it, and let's see if that is the bike worth or not. Yeah, and then what else? Yeah, otherwise service will be not cheap to service the bike. Selling, it's probably not easy, if not impossible, because for bikes in this price range is no real market. And you see the guy in front of me drives a 500. This bike costs like 300,000 baht compared to the Superduke 1.4 million. I mean, just get these numbers straight. So you have to see the many bikes that are produced here in the country up to 600cc are really cheap. They are cheaper than in the West. And then you have like the super bikes, which are mostly imported with like customs and all kinds of crap, but also everybody makes money on those. They are then double the price of what they would cost in the West. So you have a difference. It's like 4 or 5 times sometimes the price of if you compare them. This is crazy, but yeah, this is what you have to pay if you love bikes, I guess. And so if the bike is really great condition, and if they are willing to be sensible with the price, yeah, I might end up and buying a new bike today. And yeah, then I think it's enough for right now. Maybe I switch it on later when I'm at the bike directly. And yeah, talk to you later.